What's up, everybody? It's your boy Big. Been a while since I shot a video, so I thought I'd shoot one today here and tell you a little story. Actually, a story with a moral, and have you follow along and see if you know what I'm talking about when I'm done with the story. Now, normally I always like to come right out and tell you my thoughts and have you learn directly, but sometimes it makes sense to tell a story and the lessons are built inside that story. So that's what I thought I'd do today. And this story is all about a fox and grapes. So it seems that there was this fox, again, very cunning, very clever fox, who seemed to always get his way. Whenever the farmer would pin up the chickens and the eggs, he'd always figure out a way to get in and steal the eggs, or if he wanted to, take the chickens. Well, one day on his travels, this fox, who was very clever and cunning, was traveling along, and he looked and noticed that off to his right, up above, there was this grapevine, and this grapevine held the most luscious, beautiful looking grapes he had ever seen. In fact, they were just absolutely beautiful. And so, being the clever fox, again, he knew he was very good at jumping. Not so good at climbing, but certainly at jumping. And so he said to himself, it's going to be rather easy for me to jump up there and grab those delicious grapes. They're going to make a great snack, and I'm sure they're going to taste absolutely wonderful because they look so wonderful. So the fox jumped and jumped, and he jumped until he tired himself out. But the grapes were just a little too high for him to reach. And so he grumbled while he rested a little bit, and he kept saying to himself, okay, I'm going to be able to do this. I can do this. I'm a fox. I've always been able to get my way. And so he rested a little more, and then he gathered up his energy, and then he jumped again with all his might, and he just missed getting the grapes. But they looked so delicious, and he felt he was determined to get those grapes because he deserved them. He was a fox. And so he rested, and one last time he said to himself, I'm going to get those grapes. They look so delicious. I bet they taste so good. They're probably the sweetest grapes in the world. And so he jumped and he jumped again, barely missing, but he was exhausted by that time. And so, defeated, he walked away, and the grapes still stayed there, again looking luscious and beautiful. And as the fox walked away, he said to himself, you know what? I didn't really want those grapes anyway. I mean, I don't know why I went through all the effort of going after those grapes, because the truth is they don't look that great. You know, I could see that a lot of them were not that great looking, and you know, they're probably the most sour grapes in the world. I bet they are. You know, the reason I didn't get those grapes is because they probably weren't very good tasting, and yeah, that's it. Those were really sour grapes, and I didn't want them in the first place. And with that, he smiled and walked on, and he came across another fox who said, what are you doing? And the fox said, oh, you know what? If you go over there and you see a bunch of grapes, don't be fooled. They're the worst tasting grapes in the world. They're sour. They're just really horrible. And the other fox looked at him and said, hey, thanks so much for giving me the advice. I didn't want horrible tasting grapes. I'm glad you told me that. And the other fox smiled and said, yep, they're the worst tasting ever. And he went about his way. And so in the end, what I'm trying to say to you is this. Many times, those that hate what we're doing, those that hate on other people having success, are the very people who breed that hate because they themselves can't have success in something that they've tried. So many times, there are a lot of foxes out there who are very good and very cunning at what they do. But in the end, most of the hate and jealousy in the business world, in the internet marketing, in the network marketing world, comes from those people, not because they've experienced that success or experienced that sweet grape, but because They tried to reach that grape. They couldn't attain it themselves. So then they began to spread the hate. And much like the fox, just because he himself couldn't reach the grape, he immediately was able to spread that hate and convince the other fox that he came across that you don't even want to try for those grapes because they tasted horrible. And I'll tell you from experience, I'm not a fox, but I've tasted those grapes, and they are some of the sweetest, most amazing grapes ever. So on that note, it's your boy Big, and I'll see you on the next friggin' video.